you think I pretend imitating people sleep, you just half right and half wrong. Because due to jet lag, I completely sleepy now. So that's a good time to tell story. It's not in Java, it's on the jungle. In Kalimantan, in the rainforest, it is first time I saw when people come, there will be a storyteller come to the village. I saw something very different because usually if there is people, the mother telling story, the kid sleeping, and who tell story there. And that jungle is in the other round. The storyteller have to sleep first. And between wake up and sleep, he can tell story. Not, it's just, the story can be told if he completely connected with himself, herself, deeply. And then he will tell something story, just not only about, what do you call it, story he remember in his thinking, but the whole life memory will overflow. This month is, some experts say it is the birth of volcano. And it is in Central Java, in the city of Solo where I born, and I was, I first got the understanding about dance, because at that time, still that training dance and martial art is a kind of part of the education of the kid. So I was trained dance since I was 8. And that city is called Solo, is a place where on late 19th century, when the theory of origin of species from Charles Darwin was launched, a lot of paleontology roaming the world to Africa, to Java, to looking for what's so-called the missing link. And just a place nearby this bubbling things, they unearthed a skeleton. It is the first creature which before it's like this, and then start. And they call it the Pithecanthropus erectus, or they call it also, derived from my city, the Homo soloensis. And so he stand up. But my gene is not direct from this, because Indonesia is terrible because he always contribute a disaster in the world. You know the Krakatau, remember? It is in the edge of Java also, my island. When the Krakatau blow circling the, maybe some time, the ashes, and is famous with the year without summer in Europe and America, the whole world. So there are no summer sale at the time. And also, why there is the Toba crater also, blew up to what, 800,000 years ago, and create the ice age. And so this Peter Brook walk. I don't know where but because he can walk on the oceans. So I'm not direct descendant of it. But this place, we can, up to now, you can find a lot of skeleton, bones, big, from the mammoths, from the prehistoric animals. And of course, up to now, of course, there is a tradition to interpret it about this bone. So like a lot of story about it is the kingdom of all the orcus and giants in the mythology. And of course, when come to younger generation, we know about that evolution theory, and there are museums about it. Maybe 100 years already that people feel there is a certain understanding about the history of the environment, the history of the earth, history of the animal there. So there is a lot of dance which is always try to maintain that kind of understanding the relation between man and the nature. And especially because a lot of volcano, so that's become very fertile. So the rice field we can harvest 2 and 3 times. So of course, the fertility is not only when people do this, but there are a lot of snake, bird, and insect, all the animal, create that kind of thing. So the dance that imitating the animal, insect, and everything is just become part of the life, part of the how we create art, and how with the body they transmit the values of it. In Africa, you find on the rock painting, back to the maybe million years ago, the positions of the dancers. It's just, you can, it's still we can feel it on the movement of the dance. So that's why body is important, because like computer with mega giga, they have so they have memory in nerve, in the brain. There is a sentence of Carl Sagan. Carl Sagan wrote a book. I like Carl Sagan a lot. And then he wrote in one sentence in his book, Garden of Eden, if I'm not wrong. There is one sentence. In 1 second, we still hear dinosaurs roaring in our brain. And your brain also knocked me on. So there is a so sophisticated system that nature bring and develop our body. Start from these things. Yeah, so that's why it is still people through the art expressions, sculpture, drawing, painting, is about the feeling, the feeling, the connection, because it's make happy, it's make real. The word is concrete. Yeah. But I'm from Java, so that's what I talk about the farmers and people who live on the quality of the earth culture. But in Indonesia, we have not only that, we have a lot of oceans in the eastern part of Indonesia. And then in the eastern part of Indonesia, mostly water. Once I was invited to make a presentation and talking about performing art and dance in a small island. But then I find out every morning the kids there like me very much. And then he bring me to the diving on the oceans. And then suddenly I said, forget the dance, forget the performance. People here don't need it. Because all the kid always on the sea and his body like, we only imitate the flow and this and this. But their body, people on the ocean, the small island, they live on the different way of we are living. So then I start thinking, so that performing art, dance, and all this is for the continental peoples. So we need to educate us because water is the biggest part of the earth, you know. When you dive, you snorkeling, wow. Everybody is a dancer. Everybody is a yogis because your body is like that. You know. So sometimes I imagine it, why these people, they never want to stay on the land. They like to be on the sea. 3 months, 5 months in the small boat is nothing. They don't feel boring. Because maybe, because of that kind of system of bringing the body like that, maybe when they see the star, maybe they can hear a better music than which is created by Mozart, Mahler, or Gamelan, you know, that might be. So there is the oceans, there's the continental, which is who live in a nature. But let's forget about all of this, because we condemn live in the man-made environment, the city. We are not connected anymore. No, it's with the technology. That's because of the technology. We don't like to stay on the rural area. We go to the city. Millions of people every decade move from rural area to the city. And so, especially when you go to Jakarta, Bangkok, Tokyo, Taipei, it's kind of wave of a body roaming from rural area go to the city, just to find out themselves was packed and even difficult to walk. Even go to the train, somebody must push because otherwise you will crowd. So, but I don't know why, because, okay. Because before we have this kind of living that we understand the nerve, enjoy the complexity of the nerve system. Wow. And then suddenly we enjoy just to be like zombie. But because, you know, technology gives us a visual, interesting thing. Even just by sit like that, you can 6 hours. So we don't like our body, no. We just like under the fingertip. I don't know why, but me too. But that's why we need dance in the city. Why we need Beatles. And then everybody like, you know. We need Michael Jackson because it's bring you again back to the memory. The memory since the beginning of the creature. Running of time. Thank you very much. I want to go back to sleep. Bye.